here, starting the morning right. Oh, besides that.
I'm sorry, but Mr. Tom is not here right now. Please leave a message.
So, very successful book shopping trip out. Oh. Very successful little trip. A lot of the books that I got, I was very open-minded when I went inside, but I always tend to pick up mystery and thrillers. So, but I'm gonna do a little haul when I get back. Hi. So I'm back home. I don't know. Ooh, gotta adjust glasses, no glasses. I don't know. Anyways, I am back from the thrift store. I came back from book thrifting, and I'm gonna do a little haul about what I got. So exciting. The prices, I believe they were $3 paperback and then $5 hardcover, and that's how it usually always was. That, I mean, the prices itself wasn't like that. I remember like when me and my sister first went to that thrift store maybe 2 years ago when we found it. I'm pretty sure we used to get stuff that were like $1 to $2 over there, but I got 4 books for the price of $19. 18 but 19 with tax. So I got 3 hardcover books and 3 hardcover books and 1 paperback book. So these are all the books that I got. I'll show the spine so you can get an idea, and I'm just gonna read them since there's only 4 books. I thought, oh, let me go read them. I regretted after buying these books that I didn't pick up. There were 2 different books there. One was the, I just forgot the name. One of it was called The Portrait of a Lady by Henry James, which is a classic. And then the other one was The Girl with the Pearl Earrings. It's a historical fiction book made in the late 1990s based on the painting. And they had 2 copies of this. And then one of the copies came with, oh, one talking about it, I wish I got that one. One of the copies came with, I guess, photograph of illustrations. I can't remember. I don't know if I'm assuming it's from the original artist who actually made the original painting. I think out of the two, I wish I got the girl with the pearl earrings, because it's a historical fiction, so I feel like it will be kind of more easier, and plus it was quite thin. So I kind of regret not getting that one, but it's okay. Let me go through the book. So I got Simon Jimenez, The Spear Cuts Through Water. This is so pretty. I love the color scheme. Yeah, so this one reads, the people suffer under the century-long rule of the Moon Throne, the royal family, the despotic emperor and his monstrous sons, the three terrors, hold the countryside in their choking grip. They bleed the land and oppress the citizens with the frightful powers they inherited from the god locked under their palace. But that god cannot be contained forever. With the aid of June, a guard broken by his guilt-stricken past, and Kima, an outcast fighting for his future, the god escapes from her royal captivity and flees from her own children, the triplet terrors, who would drag her back to her unholy prison. And so it is that she embarks with her young companions on a 5-day pilgrimage in search of freedom and a way to end the Moon Throne forever. The journey ahead will be dangerous than any of them could ever have imagined, both a sweeping adventure story and an intimate exploration of identity, legacy, and belonging. I picked this one also because it doesn't seem to be part of like any series, and so it's great because I have picked up several books from the little library or from the thrift store that are part of series, and I have too many series that I have only read the first book of, so I wanted to ensure that I was picking up something that wasn't part of a series. I think if we're gonna stay in the same realm, I also pick up the Stardust Grill, Save One World, Doom Her Own. Maya Hoshimito was once the best thief in the galaxy. For 10 years, she returned stolen artifacts to alien civilizations until a disastrous job forced her into hiding. Now she just wants to enjoy a quiet life, as a graduate student of xenoanthropology, but she's hunted by persistent and disturbing visions of the future. Then an old friend comes to her with a job she can't refuse: find a powerful object that could save an alien species from existence, except no one has seen it in its living memory, and they aren't the only ones hunting for it. Maya sets out on a breakneck quest through a universe teeming with strange life and ancient ruins. But the further she goes, the more her vision casts a dark shadow over her team of friends, new and old. Someone will betray her along the way. Worse yet, in choosing to save one species, she may condemn humanity and Earth itself. I picked this one up because back in September, I recently watched the first 2 seasons of The Foundation on Apple TV, and just having like the visions of like the future, and then having like civilization like saving one race, and then you might end up dooming another. Like, just reading this reminded me of that sci-fi show, and so I was like, let me pick this one up because it reminded me of The Foundation. Obviously it's not going to be the same, or I mean maybe there'll be some similarities since I already caught some similarities based on the blurb, but it's because of that has piqued my interest, and so I picked this one up as well. And then while those books were like sci-fi, fantasy, these are mystery, thriller, suspense. So this one's Trust No One by Paul Cleave. And this one says, Jerry Gray can trust no one, least of all himself. Most of the world knows Jerry Gray by his crime-writing pseudonym Henry Cutter, a name that has been keeping readers at the edge of their seats for more than a decade. But now that he's been diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's at the age of 49, Jerry's career is coming to an abrupt end. His 12 books tell stories of brutal murders committed by bad men, of a world out of balance, and victims find the darkest forms of justice. As his dementia continues to break down the wall between his real life and the lives of his characters, Jerry confesses his most terrible secret: the stories are real. He committed the crimes himself. His friends, family, and caretakers insist that it's all in his head, just a side effect of his devastating disease. But is it? One of the most talented and trailblazing successful writers at work today, Edgar-nominated author Paul Cleave takes us down a dark and clever path to determine the fine line between an author and his characters, between simple fact and dangerous fiction. I mean, what more can you say? And then the last one that I picked up was The Locked Room. Also gorgeous cover. So this one reads, Ruth and Nelson are on the hunt for a murderer when COVID-19 rears its ugly head, but can they find the killers despite lockdown? Ruth is in London clearing out her mother's belongings when she makes a surprising discovery. A photograph of her Norfolk cottage taken before Ruth lived there. Her mother always hated the cottage, so why does she have a picture of the place? As she died 3 years ago, Ruth can't exactly ask her, and her father denies all knowledge of the picture. The only clue is written on the back of the photo, Dawn 1963. Ruth returns to Norfolk determined to solve the mystery. She's also involved with the excavation of a skeleton, probably a plague victim found in Tomland. Then COVID-19 strikes. Ruth and her daughter Kate are locked down in their cottage, struggling to continue with work and lessons while feeling lonely and frustrated. Luckily, the house next door is rented by a nice woman called Zoe, and they become friendly while standing on their doorstep, clapping for carers in the silence. Into the silence, yes. Nelson is on his own because Michelle is in Blackpool, but he has no time to be bored. He's investigating a series of suicides that are looking increasingly suspicious. Then one evening, he finds himself drawn to Ruth's cottage, where he sees her chatting to Zoe. Something about Ruth's new neighbor makes him feel uneasy. Before he can investigate further, events take a deadly turn. So excited. So excited. But this one reminded me of a book that I recently finished called The Winter Cottage, and that one was kind of similar, where it's like her mom had owned a cottage, but she knew nothing about this cottage until eventually she went to that cottage to, you know, or went to the town where the cottage was located to like spread the mom's ashes and stuff like that. In that book also there was a skeleton found in the cottage. This one, it was found in the well, and then it was kind of like a mystery about whose body that once was and stuff like that. So when I picked this up, I was like, oh, it's kind of similar to Winter Cottage. I like Winter Cottage. This one's more mystery thriller focused, while Winter Cottage, though it had that like mystery of the skeleton, I mean, I think the only mystery was just figuring out her connection to that cottage. Slightly different, but similar enough that this one intrigued me as well, and I wanted to pick it up. Oh, Lord mercy. So these are all the 4 books that I picked up. I feel like I can't just end the video here. I think I at least want to start one of these books and probably give you my first impression thoughts, but I feel like maybe I want to start one of these. And I'm thinking, I think I'm leaning towards this one. Also, let me say the page count. Oh, 500. That doesn't even look like it's 500 pages. That's crazy. The Spear Cuts Through Water is 518 pages. My stomach is growling. I'm so hungry. I'm gonna eat right now. Stardust Grail is 307. The Locked Room, this one's 375. Trust No One is 340 pages. Oh, this doesn't even look like it, but these are, this is like almost 200 pages more than most of these books. So yeah, I'm thinking either one of these two, but I'm leaning more towards this one. So I'm gonna go eat. We'll start reading, and I'll give you whatever first impressions that I have to end off this vlog, I think, soon. So yeah, let's go eat because I'm starving. Hi guys, so here is my little update on the Stardust Grail. So as you may have saw, I did originally pick a different book to read from the haul, but something about the Stardust Grail was just calling to me, and I did say the sci-fi Apple TV show The Foundation is what was in my mind when I originally picked up this book. And so because I recently have been watching a lot of sci-fi stuff, I mean, I'm always watching Star Wars and always rewatching that, but I recently this year started getting into Star Trek. I was like, this is just perfect for me because I was just in that mood to read it. This book follows Maya. She's in her early 30s. I believe it said that she was 31 years old. Right in the beginning, she's kind of facing multiple problems in a way. First, she has like this paper project thing where she submitted it to her mentor, but her mentor completely trashed it, saying that she didn't follow the guidelines, saying that this is horrible, saying that if this is what, you know, she ends up submitting, it's going to be completely wrong. And he basically tells her that she has to redo it and actually follow the proper guidelines this time, or the outcome is not going to be so good. So she has a very short time frame, a very short window to basically redo this whole paper, redo this whole project. On top of that, at the place that she works at, which is a museum, a new book gets introduced like into the collection, and there's someone that is going to come soon to basically pick up that book or basically read it and stuff like that. Maya herself, based on the position that she's at, is not allowed to touch this book, see this book, have this book, XYZ. But she has a co-worker slash a friend named Pickle, and she tries to plead with Pickle, who is allowed to like be in the book's vicinity in a way, to get the book. Pickle, very hesitant, but they basically work out a deal for Maya to then go ahead and read this book. And I would say that's the second problem that is occurring in Maya's life. The book is extremely important. It most likely is going to help uncover the location of this grail, this like object that people know of but have no memory of like what it looks like, and just like no memory of its existence basically. But it's so important in helping this civilization, which leads us to a third problem that occurs right at the beginning of the book, and when it is in relation to Maya's old friend. So Maya's old friend contacts her, and they are in like orbit of Earth. So the book starts off on Earth, right? They're in orbit of Earth. They're not allowed to actually go like down to Earth, so they're kind of just staying above. And then Maya just kind of basically like reinforces them that they're not allowed to come down here. But Maya's old friend basically contacts her, and like the summary states, she basically has a job for her and wants Maya to, you know, find this grail. And so I haven't myself, I'm on chapter 8, which is about like 40 pages in. So I haven't myself gotten to the point where Maya basically goes on this quest, so we haven't really gotten to the space adventure part yet. However, the book is moving. I quite like it. So I do wonder one thing, when Maya does eventually go on this quest, when we get to that point, I do wonder how that's going to interfere with this big paper that she has to basically rewrite and overhaul, because she mentions it, her mentor mentions it, like this is basically her last chance when it comes to that. So I do wonder how that will go in effect, because it's due quite soon. I'm pretty sure it's like in a week or less than a week's time. But anyways, I am really liking the book so far. The book is moving. I cannot wait to read and actually get to the space adventure part of the book. So I'm excited for that. So hopefully I can finish this book by the end of this month, but we are going to be reading some other type of books in the month of January. So, but only time will tell. But other than that, yeah, Stardust Grail, liking it so far. Let me know your thoughts down below if you've ever read this book. But with that said, thank you so much for watching. It really means a lot. And I will see you in another video. Mwah. Bye-bye.